She got her first career victory this week at the Daytona Beach Invitational. It boosted her from number 22, this is what you call moving day, 22 to number 5. Viera, Florida native, recorded 5 top 10 finishes, led the tour in driving distance. Welcome once again, number 5 to the LPGA, Daniela Iacobelli.
I left my job at Baytree. Both of us work there now. About 3 years ago to go on tour, and they had to replace me while I was gone. They hired him, and when I came back, I see this guy just kind of chilling at the bar in his bright yellow shirt, and I'm like, who are you? Hi, I'm Tyler. And I'm like, that's awesome, really? You guys hired someone? I was gone for like 3 months. He actually went, he had to go to Portugal with one of our buddies to go caddy for men's Q school?
Men's European. Men's
European Q school. And he asked me, he's like, hey, you want to go down to Miami? I got to go get my passport. And I'm like, sure. Pick you up at 4. We'll be there by 7:30 a.m. So I think at that point, I think that was like someone or something testing us to see if we could be in a car together for that long. And it worked, so then I was like, hey, I'm leaving from Mexico. You wanna come caddy in Mexico? I'll pay for all your stuff. He's like, duh. But I think the Symetra Tour helped us a lot for what we're gonna see out here, just in travel. I think I put on like 30,000 miles last year on my truck, with our longest one being from
We went from Albany, New York to South Bend, Indiana, 13 hours, played a week, and then got in the car and drove 13 hours back to Richmond, Virginia for the next week, which was the 4th and 5th week of a 6-week stretch. So it was
exhausting.
Yeah, there's the 13 hours in a car, it's basically the same amount of time as it took us to fly from LA to Sydney, Australia. But instead of being in Sydney, Australia, we were in South Bend, Indiana. We just looked at the money list and we're like, I looked at her, and it was a tongue-in-cheek, and it was being funny, but at the same time it was kind of serious, and I was just like, well, all we gotta do is win this week. You get your LPGA Tour card. And she's like, oh, it's just that easy, isn't it? It just felt like we were prepared for whatever was gonna happen. And then the week went on, we shot 3 under, then we shot 4 on the second day to be in a tie for the lead, and then we turned, tied for the lead again, and it was just kind of just coming down the stretch and just made a couple birdies back to back and kind of separated ourselves, and well, it was kind of cruising in, I guess, and then hit a couple good shots on 18, and after the ball hit the green, she looked at me and asked if we had just won, and that's when I reminded her that no, the ball still has to go in the hole. You do not win when it just hits the green. And then she snapped back out of it.
There's nothing I think you could ever do to prepare yourself for that moment. And I mean, it wasn't an LPGA win, it wasn't a US Open, it wasn't a major, but it was still a professional win.
Huge thanks to LPGA International, of course, in great shape. Head professional Mike Burgess and general manager Jeff Andrews. If everyone's here, I would like to see them. No? Okay.
You get this sheet and you just run through it real quick, and then it's like, it's 90 degrees outside. It's the last tournament of the year. Everyone's already been out here. I was like, I don't want to keep you guys, but I mean, I could just go on for hours. I have so many stories for you.
Those people in the blue shirts right there. I don't know if anyone ever thanks you guys, but thank you. Good job doing your job. Even though we might not like some of the rulings, Dan. I told you in New Hampshire when I won this year, I'd give you a shout out. Shout out.
I forgot to thank my sponsor. I'm looking back and I watched it a couple times. I'm like, oh my God, what were you thinking? What were you doing? Everyone's like, no, it was great. I'm like,
forgot to thank Dad.
Like,
special thanks to the course superintendent, John Lamrish, and his staff for all the long hours and for getting the course ready for this week's event. The course was great. The greens worked for me. So I have no complaints there.
You look down, you see all these people, and the tournament director's behind me, but I don't think I met him that week, and I'm a mess.
Tournament director Ryan Ronk and the staff here for your work this week. Gotcha.
I tried to wrap it up. Apparently Craig Can says I'm coming after his job, but I hope I have a couple years left before I do that.
You know her well. She's been up here already today. She's pretty much given, with all apologies to the commissioner, the best speech thus far today.
I think there's short-term and long-term goals, but it took me probably a legitimate 10 years to get here between high school and college and all that. So I just want to enjoy it. I feel spoiled, like in a really good way. We've had awesome housing the last 2 weeks, 2 beautiful golf courses, 2 places where I've never played golf. So it's all very new and exciting, but it's definitely what I dreamed it would be, which is really cool.